know I left it in there.
Okay, I want to start out on the last week's event was quite eventful. we did really well. All the animal balance people were so supportive, and they're going to be referring us all over the world actually for support and just really get us on the map. As you know, there were 5 of the top surgeons here from all over the country. They evaluated all the animals at the shelter and established a treatment protocol for many of them. So they are going to be submitting their reports to me, and so we'll have that on record. And they plan on making this an annual event. And I know moving things around is stressful, so this happened the last time we moved to the shelter. Everybody kind of wigged out, and consequently lost about 10 or 12 volunteers. So this last week was kind of the same thing. Tensions were high, things were upside down. The meds got lost. They were in the clinic, they were in a box, they got lost, and somehow it got circulated around town that we had no meds, the animals were not being medicated, and the shelter was refusing animal care during that week.
That was true.
So,
Sarah told me flat out several times.
No,
not to take animals into animal care.
Excuse me, let me finish, okay? So we had the vets here evaluating them, so there was no need to maintain their scheduled appointments.
They can evaluate them for the 2nd of May, though. Because that's what it says on their medical records.
Well, they were looking at all the animals every free moment that they had. They didn't get around to establishing a treatment plan until they were done with everything.
Okay, so they weren't treated to the 2nd of May then.
I don't know. They were doing all kinds of multitasking. They were taking care of every animal in the shelter while they were here for 6 days. So yeah. So anyway, that kind of thing, it brings down the shelter, brings down the morale, brings down everything, and it needs to be reported properly.
It was reported though.
To Sarah.
Yes.
So
Sarah was fully aware.
So anyway, Sarah has a lot of experience. She has way more than you do, and anybody here, and me. You know, she's 2.5 years. 2 years of shelter experience here, where I have been tasked with keeping all the paperwork together. There's several moving parts to this shelter, and those all have to be maintained, and that can't be done here.
What are her professional and formal education and credentials?
Sarah is a vet tech, and she's been trained in the military.
What branch of service, and what is her school? What is the name of her school?
I'll get that for you, but really that's not your concern. The experience here, you don't need to be licensed in Hawaii. So she is, like I said, she knows more than all of us put together, and except for probably Susan and Dr. Chody. So anyway, Sarah is experienced in running the shelters.
I'll find out. You don't have to tell me. It's easy. If she's certified in anything, that's public record, and the Attorney General will be able to find out too. So that's so easy to find out. That's so easy to find out.
So we definitely need to make sure that like meds and things like that
That's
in the future for next go around.
Animals got worse during that time.
It's not for any other reason than just the fact that the meds got
They disappeared.
lost,
So like,
Yeah, but nobody said anything. Nobody said
I said-
we did. Everybody said
Yeah, we did.
I did.
You're not here. We
To
said to
Sarah.
everyone that was here.
Sarah
So
knew the meds
we brought it
Yeah,
up to the very
everybody
first day.
did.
The very first day.
We
Sarah
looked
and us,
everywhere.
Dr. Emma was helping us look. We couldn't find
Yeah.
them. So I'm just saying, in the future, before we have a day that we're going to start rearranging, we should just be able to grab our own things, and set aside.
Right.
Because then it will help with everything.
Right. I was here during the time they were cleaning up the clinic. I was unaware that they stashed everything, but it was all there. So we could have totally avoided this with a little more communication. I didn't know. We could have taken that clinic apart one morning or one evening before or after we started. So yeah, it needs to be taken care of. The meds are here. So we need to find them. It's just a matter of where.
I don't know, like, there was lots of things that were missing that week, and I guess we were, under the estimation that we were referring things to Sarah, because Sarah was kind of running the whole show, and
That's why
so I guess the lack of
job
communication
title is.
was from her to you,
Yeah,
but we were,
between us and anybody but her to you.
yeah, because she knew, and, we were just like every day.
She wouldn't allow anyone in there. It was the morning of basically that everyone was.
Oh, yeah,
They started
we
the
weren't.
day before moving, and that was in there.
I wasn't even allowed.
So
in
that
there.
Yeah, I
night we
wasn't
found
even
out.
allowed
So-
in there. Yeah.
So we're doing our best, but just in the future we need to pull that stuff out of there because, we did the very first morning that we were coming to do meds, we let her know immediately. No one was allowed back in there, so that was why we just weren't unable to go to find.
And then we, to be honest, we actually have a student that works at the Humane Society, and she's like, why haven't these dogs got their meds in 2-3 days? And why haven't we, where are their meds? I'm like, I don't know where their meds are. I mean, because they know, because they come in and they do the med book, and they're like, and so it doesn't, yeah, and.
Yeah, we could have done it before or after the clinic. We should have stopped the operation and taken care of it. But in the future, everybody needs to communicate that. I guess you felt that you had, which you had, but it didn't reach me. I didn't know, and Emma didn't tell me.
So moving forward, what is Sarah's job title and responsibilities within this organization?
Sarah is a admin manager. She takes care of paperwork, she takes care of billing, she takes care of contracts, she takes care of web-based services.
So is she and you, or you the only two that have access to the PayPal account for donations? That whenever we have online fundraisers, the money goes into a PayPal
That's
account?
separate. That goes to GoFundMe. PayPal has two accounts. It has a GoFundMe account for clinical services that all goes out to DC Windward Waikahu Veterinary Hospital. All of that goes there. And then there's a separate one for general donations that people just randomly send donations in PayPal. And they also we have payments. I have access, and Sarah has
When we
access.
slide payments through the card, what is that?
That goes to PayPal
Okay.
for the adoptions.
Now, were you aware that Sarah asked me to lie about the parvo outbreak that we had?
She asked you to lie.
Yes. Via Facebook chat. So as you're aware, we had those 3 puppies that were brought in on the 10th of April. So here
And
are
they
their
didn't have parvo.
They did?
No, they didn't have parvo when we came here. So
Okay.
they were healthy when we brought them here. And
You can't tell that parvovirus takes 14 days to show up.
What she wrote on Facebook was that today the puppies came in, as you can read here, and were immediately brought into the vet. This was posted on the 12th of April, 2 days after.
We actually had the puppies way before
Yeah.
the 10th. We had the puppies for like a week.
In about 6 days.
So
And
she
honestly,
posted that on Facebook and on the
and the vet
fundraising
techs
page.
questioned me
Wait a
about
minute,
that.
so what day did they get to the?
They came a week before we took them to the vet, and the
Yeah.
vet techs were like, why did you guys say you guys just got them in? The vet techs all examined them. They knew they were here, so it makes us look like liars.
And this is where she asked me to lie. She says, and I quote for you, also don't mention to anyone that we had parvo at the shelter, not this close to a clinic. We don't want the press knowing things were done by the book, and they are at a vet. So I wasn't sure, because Sarah seemed to be operating as your right-hand man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
She had passed that on to you.
Well, she has experience with these clinics. She's already done 2 already, so that's why she came here to manage the 3rd one. And what is the protocol? Because we bring puppies in here and have them in with the cats
And that's
to
where one of the
separate
puppies
them.
died in that corner.
To separate them from the dogs. So we used to have that whole other side of the shelter over there, and the puppies went to the middle room, and they were always isolated. So now we don't have a place for the puppies. We still have the clinic cages in the back, the recovery. Are those all been taken out?
I think there's some still back
Some are
there.
still back there. It's all
That-
flooded out, but they're back there right now.
That's an alternative. We can move those.
And that's the reason why I wanted Chris to come here, because she was a shelter manager before. She would advise us how to set up our shelter. Chris
Christy.
Vallejo.
Chris Vallejo.
She came and volunteered for it.
Oh, Chris Vallejo, yeah. So Dr. Christy, is the director of the Peninsula. So she came and offered her input. She said we've been addressing everything in the shelter. She was really impressed with her, except we hadn't addressed the behavioral problems. She suggested that we make enclosures for every dog so they have their quiet space. They don't have any place to hide. So that was her biggest suggestion, that we do that. So maybe at some point we can make 3D Kune beds so that every one of the dogs has a place to hide.
So just to verify, you didn't know Sarah asked me to lie on Facebook? Okay, about the parvo?
No.
Okay.
But she's supposed to be our
She
admin
seemed-
manager.
I don't do
She seemed
Facebook.
concerned-
I don't
okay.
do
She seemed
Facebook.
concerned that the public would find out that we had a parvo outbreak before the clinic, as if that would put dogs at risk. So you said she's experienced as a vet tech, and here she is saying, don't mention to anyone, we can't have the press knowing. That seems like subterfuge to me. I don't know if that's something you might want to discuss with her. You just were rattling off about her qualifications, and then
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
And like I
Okay.
said, the vet techs, because we are all
Yeah.
finishing our hours. Every single one of them saw that on Facebook. They're like, this puppy's been there for like a week. You guys are like saying you got them today. So it looks to us like really bad. And of course, I work with them, at school. So they're like, yeah. And then the other puppies came in, Odette and Lila, and they were all worried about them because they were in here at the same time as.
and in bonsai too.
We
Yeah.
have a lot of half truths and lie on our Facebook, as well as things that are being passed down from upper management.
Say that again?
We tend to have a lot of half truths and lies on our Facebook account that we're being called out on because they're not. We're telling people we're treating cats for things. They're coming here and noticing huge lesions on these
Like
cats.
the
out
whole
here.
flea thing a couple
Yeah.
months ago when nobody
Exactly.
there
No
was a
one
whole
was
flea
spraying
breakout.
trees, and I mean the concerns page that
Brittany
says.
treated the cats for fleas before she left, so they were
Yeah, I
supposed to be
helped with
treated
that.
again the 15th.
I helped
Were
with
they
that whole
treated
thing,
on the
yeah.
15th?
I don't think they've gotten treated.
No.
They're working to do follow-up at the same time. Everybody in the clinic.
She actually created an alarm so that it would go off on your computer, so you knew exactly what day to treat everybody.
Did Susan know about the alarm?
Yes. She might have forgotten.
It's Trifexis for dogs.
Sorry?
It's Trifexis for dogs. That's what it said.
That's it? Not cats. But they were all done about the same time.
Okay, yeah, it's Trifexis for dogs.
So that should be in the records.
Yeah, I think she put in all the records.
That they were treated.
But I think we only have like one more dose for
Yeah.
dogs, and then we'll be out.
Anyway.
Cats is just spray.
I know. Yeah, these situations are upsetting, and even more upsetting is going to be in 3-4 months when we have to move the shelter. So we can all either look at things like they're terrible or move forward and look to the future, because there's a lot of moving parts to the shelter.
It's interesting you bring up 3 to 4 months for movement, because I spoke with Sam Rollins. He's the
Well,
building
you don't have.
inspector.
Excuse me, honey. You didn't speak with him
I
finally.
did.
You did not speak with
I know,
him
but
finally.
he was under the impression we're moving out at the end of May.
Yeah, but
Did you tell him that?
Excuse me. Wait till you hear the whole story.
I just asked you, did you tell him the end of May we were moving out? That's
I
all.
told him we would keep extending until we moved, and I called him right back and I said, I'm not on trial here, so. Okay,
I was
so
told by
I
Nancy
called him
Bernal
right
to
back.
bring my
Excuse me.
concerns to
I know,
you,
yeah.
so that's what I'm doing.
I called him right back after you told me, and I asked you, please do not be excited when you tell me items that come through the phone or come through the mail or whatever. But I called him right back and I said, Sam, we had made an agreement that you would extend us until we were ready to move. And he said, yeah, but I have to tell you to start preparing. He goes, so you have to start preparing to move. And as long as I see you doing your due diligence, I will keep extending. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to prepare to move, which is good. Then we don't have to do it when we have to move. And take down those auxiliary wood structures, and we're getting shade cells that are exactly like roofs, but they click onto the building and they click onto posts, and they're removable.
So we're not obtaining building permits for the outdoor structures that we're cited for?
No, we're taking them
in the
down.
interim?
We're
Okay.
taking them down.
And do we have a new location for this shelter?
Yes, we do.
Where's it at?
I can't tell you yet because we're not in contract. So
we
I'm
don't
finishing.
if we aren't in
No, we have
contract.
2 locations. We're pulling the trigger this week.
Okay.
I just finished the last documents for the feasibility study. That was the last piece of the pie for the USDA loan. That feasibility study has to include an address, and we were waiting until the last minute because there was absolutely nothing on the market, and we only had 2 choices.
Okay. So it's gonna be 1 of 2 choices, and you'll know within a week.
Yeah, well,
A week
we'll
or
know.
2?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll know.
Are these constructed shelters, or are we doing groundbreaking?
There's 1 constructed and 1 is a prefab structure.
Okay, so the one, and we aren't getting the one that's constructed.
Anyway, we just
then
got
we're
a
not gonna
huge
be-
grant
Excuse me, I'm
last week.
speaking. As you said before, so if we're not getting the constructed shelter, the one that we have to do groundbreaking on is gonna take longer than 3 to 4 months,
No,
correct?
it isn't. It's a prefab structure that goes up in 8 days.
We are almost being evicted by the end of the month by Oahu SPCA. How are we handling that situation?
We have had attorneys meetings constantly for the last 2 weeks. We're developing a settlement right now. They gave us their final proposal. We gave them our negotiated proposal, and we're trying to meet in the middle. So it's actually an increase in the rent, which is already written in the lease, and we're negotiating what the increase is. So, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts here. There's
Mr. Nathan, yes.
wait a minute, we're in a meeting. Can he come back?
I think he has one of our dogs. Victoria, right?
Just tell him that.
It's not. We'll just find out.
No, that can't be the
It's not gonna
guy.
be that long. Can we wait or?
It's gonna be long because we haven't gotten to my
words.
part
Yeah,
yet.
it's gonna be a
Yeah.
very long meeting. We have lots to address.
Okay.
Many concerns.
Progress, you got it?
Many concerns. Hey, my friend.
And also, it came to my attention that the generator is in violation of our lease with Aloha Petroleum.
We've already been inspected. The electrical inspector came and we've been passed.
Okay,
So,
that's
sorry,
not-
the fire inspector.
That's not what the.
So we
final
are allowed to use
determination-
the generator because the paperwork, yeah. You know me, I've been here forever. I'm here for the animals.
On our final termination of the lease, it says.
But really, that has nothing to do with our negotiations with the Aloha Petroleum right now. We
That we're
are.
in lease and also with the fire hose that they have told us repeatedly to remove that. You don't think that's a little unethical, asking your employees to operate a generator that is in direct violation of the lease?
They know all about it. They know all
I
about
know,
it.
and they don't like it. That's what I'm saying is, how do you
But
feel
it's-
asking
it
someone
is-
to do something that is in violation of the lease?
They know all about it. We are negotiating to stay a few months after. Actually, there's 2 ways to look at everything. You can say everything's awful and where would these animals go if it
No, I'm just
wasn't for
asking
this?
for open
Where would these
communication.
animals go if it wasn't for this shelter? So there's 2 ways to look at things. So if some people cannot look at the way we take care of animals and how many animals get adopted, then
Stephanie,
maybe
I
this
appreciate
this isn't the place for you.
No, I
This isn't the
appreciate-
place for everybody.
I
It's
appreciate
a lot
the
of work
shelter.
here.
What I'm trying to
It's
do
a lot of
is
work
help
here.
you maintain compliance with the law.
We already have negotiations with the attorneys, so
think-
they're fully aware of all of everything going on here. They've done several inspections. I don't know how many times you've seen the attorney out here, but I've taken her around about 3 or 4 times, and she's very well
Were you
aware
aware
of
of the
everything.
HIOSH complaint, the Hawaii
Yes,
Occupational
that those
Safety?
people have already
Were
been
you aware that
addressed.
it is required by law to post a copy accessible to all
It
employees?
wasn't posted in
Where?
the clinic. Where is it still in there?
I have never seen it.
Yeah,
No
it
one
was
else
in the
here has
clinic.
ever seen
It
it.
Can you
wasn't-
repost it
Also-
for us, please, since it's your legal obligation?
You're also supposed to reply to this from December 6th,
Yeah,
2013.
it's been replied long
I know
ago.
you're supposed to post it where all employees can see, and no employee here has ever seen this.
No, all the employees were shown
Was
a copy.
anyone here given
No.
a copy?
Not the new employees, yeah, the older
Okay,
employees.
so you
Actually,
understand
when
that
it
we have a
happened.
new staff turnover, so none
Yes,
of the new
so,
employees
yeah,
have
so,
seen it.
okay.
So you're in violation of my laws and what you're accountable to me as one of your employees. And you put me in danger and by just not disclosing these harmful things to me.
Those were up.
Yeah, this
and
slippery
No, they
thing,
weren't.
snake broke on that slippery thing, so this should have been posted. I'm
Yeah,
really
it
sorry
was
to hear about that.
posted. It was posted.
Where was this at?
It was in the
I think
clinic.
It was not
No.
successful.
Not everybody can go in the clinic. Not everybody can go in the clinic.
Can you please by tomorrow get us the reply that you sent in
Sure, I will.
and post it in here, or wherever you think think is best. I posted in here because a lot of employees come in here, so I think it's very visible. But it is their right as employees to have access.
Well,
to it.
actually, I don't know if we want the public to come in here and see. That's why I put it in the clinic.
Tough shit. The
because
public needs to
everybody-
know these things, and you are not doing your job. And I'm tired of this. Oh, the public doesn't need to see this. The media doesn't need to see that. That's exactly what they need to see, and they need to see that you're not doing your job and being accountable to the animals. So if you want to step up in my square, you can go. But I'm telling you right now, people are going to start to hear about this, and the public is going to start to hear about this, and everything about you is going to be uncovered.
Common thread here is that we need a director, Stephanie. We're being thrown to the wolves here. We are constantly the only ones here. Nod your head in agreement if we feel alone here.
Very much so.
If we feel like your 4 or 5 hours a week are not happening, and you wonder, you act like we have aggression towards you, it's nothing. We love you, but you're not here. You give us no time.
Okay, so the reason I'm not here, okay, I just finished the grant. I just finished the grant.
He's talking. You don't want to be interrupted. Let him
I
talk.
understand you have 1,000 things to do. Why do we and these animals not mean enough for you to have a director down here? Why do you run Chris out and every other director that's ever come? We saw everything that happened between you and Chris. You lied to us on everything. You lied to me on every single thing you told me about Chris.
Chris
Well,
O'Shea.
Chris has her side, and I have mine.
Then tell
Stephanie,
us.
I saw
Tell
proof.
us.
I saw your proof. I
So
saw
I had
proof.
3 valuable weeks that she gave me before she moved, or she went to her event. She
Okay.
had an event, and she took on a whole page of responsibilities.
I saw that.
And she
Your
wanted-
5 words of text telling her how
No,
to
no,
do
no,
the
no,
webpage.
no. We had numerous meetings, and she
Numerous
promised to.
meetings.
She promised that she would be here on several
She
occasions.
volunteered her time.
She never
She paid
came to the
$100
office.
gas.
Yes, she did.
She
I
wasn't
saw
here
her
all the time.
You weren't
I
here.
worked
She was.
here with Chris O'Shea.
Yes.
I met her. We held
Well, that
meetings.
isn't your decision if you could hire her or not, because
But
she didn't
nobody-
follow
we had
through.
no one.
She
She
didn't
did
follow
follow
through
through.
with the tasks that I gave her.
It's been
And
almost
we
6
had
months and we have no
3
director.
valuable weeks before she went to her
So
event.
who's your next
It's
person to come
interesting
in
that
here?
you
We
say
have
she
a
didn't follow
vet
through.
lined up right
so
now.
we
He's
have
an
vets.
administrator of 60 employees. He ran a hospital of $3 million budget.
When is he starting? What's his start date?
Probably June 7th.
He's always probably with you. There's
June
never a
7th.
definitive. Okay, so June 7th. Everybody write that down.
What's his
June
name?
7th, we will have a new director in here. And now he's going to run the full shelter, the full directorship,
The full
and run the
shelter,
vet side
yes.
of it as well.
Yes.
Okay. And
He
these are
has
job tasks that
60
he knows.
employees. He can handle how many are there?
Now,
are?
But it's not
if you
just
want to
the
speak
employees,
to
it's the
Chris
animal.
O'Shea, because the last time I spoke to her, she said she was waiting on a call from you
She's
about
never
when
response
she's
from
going
you.
to have hours.
She left and
Okay,
never
so if I
called me
call
when
her,
she
if
got
I
back.
call her right now, will you speak to her about this? Will you, because she's been wanting to get in touch with you about if she is
She didn't
coming
call
on.
me.
Okay, so if I call her right now, will you speak to Chris O'Shea?
No, I won't. Because
Why not?
we're in a meeting.
So you won't speak to her because she wanted to get in
She
touch
deserves
with
to
you?
be involved in the meeting.
She wanted to work here, and she told us, and she told Nancy, that
That is the board's
never-
decision, okay, that we've already
the
decided
board to
on.
hire her?
Yes. We already discussed it the
How
other
come the
day.
board wasn't aware that Chris O'Shea was even a potential
Oh, they
employee?
were aware.
Not according to Nancy Bernal.
They were aware. They were, she's the one that told me to
According
have
to
her, she's the one that told me to have her volunteer before we hired her, yes.
What's your plan between now and June 7th for the care of these animals and your day-to-day directorship at the shelter?
Actually, Pete is stepping in
Pete,
as
are you
being
wanting to be a director of the
operational
shelter?
manager.
Director?
No, he's not being a director, he's being an operational manager.
I feel sorry for Pete because he stepped in with his large heart and has not even really had any idea what to do around here. The poor guy has had to take the phone and everything because you're mad at me and upset about me raising concerns, doing the high school thing or whatever we're doing here with the responsibilities that are being taken from me, on our day-to-day. Now I get to carry checks around with me. Pete, we have to call for gas to get things, answer the damn phone. Poor Pete. He's a nice fellow. He's going to step in and do what he can, but that's craziness to task him with all these things. He has no information, and you're making him take the phone, making him take the card, making him take the keys. What have I ever done to this shelter but good?
Nathan,
Has anybody
you
ever
can't
seen in this
handle
room?
this
Has
position.
anybody? I'm not saying I
Wait,
can't.
wait, wait.
I've asked for nothing but directorship help this entire time. I told you that.
Yeah,
I was hired as a kennel tech.
It's in, yeah, that's
Okay,
what, that's
correct.
what, that's
So
what
I built up and
you were
done
hired
nothing but good
for.
for the shelter. I 5 a.m. in the morning I'm down at KITV. I run dogs to windward. I do this and that. And you treat me like I have done something wrong to this place because one day you told me to take the afternoon off and then rip me up, broke me up. That is ridiculous.
I didn't tell you to take
You
the
said
afternoon
step back and
off.
take the
I said
afternoon
take
to
a
clear your
breath. I
head.
said take a breath.
Well, I wish we had.
And then, what did you do that night?
What did I do that night? I went to a fundraiser and raised $1,000 for this shelter on the day that I walked off and you hired Pete. You're ridiculous. That is the most rude, ridiculous thing ever. Are we 5th graders in high school?
Wait a minute.
What have
We
I
had
ever
an
done?
event.
What
We
have
had
I
an
ever
event.
done? I left at 1 in the afternoon. You told me at 11 to go take and clear my brain. I worked 2 more hours and then left. Probably wasn't the best idea, yeah, to leave.
No,
But
no,
since
no,
then,
not
everything
in the
that I've
middle
ever
of an
done,
event.
you have treated me
Not
like
in
I'm a
the middle
5-year-old,
of
like I've done
event.
things.
Not in the middle of an event. We had 100
So,
people
because of
there.
that event last week, now you've taken all these responsibilities. Pete has to answer the phone. We don't have gas, keys,
Yeah,
litter. Pete has to run it all.
you need to chill out a little bit.
Oh, so I need to chill. So now I'm not allowed to do my day-to-day
All of
responsibilities.
this is something to chill out about as well.
All I do is give
Everything
to the
we're
shelter.
bringing to you is serious.
I do after hours, before hours. And you treat me like I've done bad things to the shelter. You talk bad to Pete and other folks around the shelter. It gets back to me. You don't have to worry about that. What have I done that has been poor? Name one
And
thing
then
that I've done.
Easter time, we have a 24/7 operation here, hospital. We have a hospital running.
I
On
was here when
Easter
Nathan
Sunday,
asked you
you
about
told
Easter.
us the shelter was
On Easter when the
closed.
shelter was closed, I called you
No,
telling
I
my wife
have
was very
text
sick and
messages
had to
that
go
you
in.
were coming.
I did my best, and
so
then I
did-
told you after my
so
wife
did
got
other
very ill and we
people
had to go to
that-
the hospital.
How come
Already
when I
full
asked you if
doctor
we were closed on
documentation.
Easter Sunday, you said yes?
I didn't say
Yes,
that.
I
you
was
did.
here. for
Kevin
that.
has said
Yes,
for the
you
last
did.
5 years it's been
Oh,
closed.
we have
And-
closed,
and
but
you
we
told
still
us this year
need, we
would.
still need people to come.
So
And
You
why
offered me
didn't
to have
you
the day
say
off.
that? Why didn't you say yes, but we need you
You
still
offered me to have the day
here?
off, and I said I would come in on my own good time. My wife got sick. My wife got
Why,
sick.
when I asked you, are we closed Easter Sunday, why did you say
Well, that's a lot,
yes?
Michelle. I don't think you can really, some people need to take a step back and maybe,
I think the
this
time
is
to
the
take a
place
step
for
back
you.
is long gone.
Really.
Yeah.
This is all coming from, because all we see is we see all these notices we get in the mail every day, and we see all these debts we owe. And I'm gonna start crying because I love these dogs out here. But we are not doing what we need to do for these dogs, and we don't
Aren't you
know where we're
embarrassed at all?
going. We don't know, I mean.
It's
we-
very scary not to know where you're going.
But
It
you,
is.
but you don't relay anything. You don't tell us that
No
we're works
direction.
for the land. We don't
And
know any of
whenever
that, and
we
that's why
bring
we feel like
concerns
we
to
have
you,
nothing.
You deflect them.
Like we feel like we're gonna be thrown out of here any
You
day.
told me on
and-
Friday, it doesn't flood out there, it doesn't drain. Stephanie, it's
flooding
flooded
right
right now. Whenever I bring issues to you, you ignore them
I
like they
didn't
don't.
say it doesn't flood.
On
Yes, you
Friday,
did.
during the staff meeting, when she
Yes.
mentioned.
Oh, yeah, now when it stopped raining, it'll stop flooding. It stopped raining.
So it floods when it rains, that's what flood means.
I know, but it's not gonna rain anymore.
You said
Yes,
that
it
already, and
does.
it's rained
It
since
does
then.
rain.
It rained today.
Well, that's
Stephanie.
unusual.
Oh, yes.
I've
it
lived
is
here 8
unusual.
years. It rains all year long. It's more in the wintertime, but
And
it
that
does
is-
rain consistently throughout the course of the year.
That
I will
is-
get you the weather report, sister.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I brought up to Aloha Petroleum. They plugged out that drain. They knew all about it.
And why didn't you say
and
that
didn't
at the staff
disclose it.
meeting? Why did you say it drained, quote unquote, it drains, if you knew it was plugged up by Aloha Petroleum?
I didn't see it drain.
Yes, you did. You said it doesn't flood out there anymore. It
No,
drains.
no.
That is what you said. I'm sorry. Am I misquoting Stephanie? Anyone who's at the staff meeting?
no.
What staff meeting?
The one we had Friday.
That was
No, no, no.
interrupted when
No, no, no,
Monday
no.
got hurt.
I meant it doesn't flood now when it doesn't rain. I said rain, not drain. I said
Stephanie.
rain. No, I meant
Stephanie, you are
it
lying
stopped
to my
raining.
face.
No, I'm not.
I was
I'm not
You were
lying.
speaking
You
to me.
misunderstood me. You misunderstood me.
I misunderstood you.
Did you hear
when
me say rain or drain?
You said it drains.
No, I said it's not gonna rain
Okay.
anymore.
Okay. So I
Let's
guess
move
this
beyond
is
this.
something.
Let's
But
move on.
anyway, yeah,
It's
yeah.
something
It's
else.
really a lot.
Is there anything else on here?
Payroll. It's
Yeah,
embarrassing when I try to go
payroll.
cash my paycheck. I have good credit and I don't appreciate my paychecks bouncing.
Yeah, that
I will
was
file a lawsuit against you. You
that
need to make
was-
that stop stat.
That was a
You need to make that stop stat.
Petco check. that
Every
was
check I've ever
deposited.
received from this place, every check I've ever received has bounced. Every one. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, they all have bounced. And if my NSF fees come through, are you going to pay them for me?
Yes.
Because okay, I will get those printouts and you will be
Yes,
owing my bank all those
absolutely.
NSF
Yeah, no
fees.
problem.
It's embarrassing when I go to ASB to try to cash my check. It's embarrassing.
I wasn't able to get online, and I had to change the account status so we could get online.
Every time they bounce.
So no. I changed the account status so we could get online now, and then that will never happen again. And they didn't tell us that they were gonna put a hold on the account. You deposited that Petco check, and they put a hold on it. So that's why.
Who's
What is
doing
our
payroll? We're
budget?
still
Yeah,
giving you
how do we
payroll
know
from Alexis,
exactly
from
what
Sarah.
funds are earmarked for payroll, for things like basic needs at the shelter, for clinic? Who does the budget, and what is the budget? None of us know a budget of how much we're
We go to
supposed
the
to
gas
spend.
station to get litter, and we hope as we're in line that the card won't be applied. female
Another
insurance
embarrassing
last time I asked
situation, I'm
for it.
sure.
Do you have that receipt for Megan? Megan needs to get paid back. We need someone to write her a check.
This shelter is not
Megan.
doable without a director.
Right.
You are the one that chose to open it, none of us. You have to do something to fix that.
I
and not
have-
on June 7th. This has to be done as soon as possible, ASAP. None of us are able to continue under this workmanship. No one has any idea what's going on. Nothing's being passed. You asked 4 people to do the same thing. You told them, Michelle, go pick up meds at the thing. You went and picked up the meds. You waste people's time. You asked 6 people to do the same thing.
What meds?
You need to step
Meds
back.
at White Kelly.
White Kelly. You asked Michelle to go get them, and then you went and get them. And then you took them to the place. So we have people going this, that, and the other. We understand that you are busy with your other thing. If you're going to
No,
choose
it's
to
not
own
my
this
other
shelter,
thing.
well, whatever you're doing on
No,
behind the
it's
scenes.
not my other thing. It's
Okay,
taxes.
are you doing enough to do all the behind the scenes and on tasks?
I can't.
You can't.
I can't do
Exactly.
what I'm doing.
You can't. So if you don't get someone down here, things will never change.
Guess what? I've been looking with headhunters for the last 6
For 6
months.
months?
Hire within. Hire one of these people that have your back.
You've never, in 6 months, there's been no one that can come run the shelter?
There has been no
I
one.
don't believe that.
I'm a little shell shocked because the last person I brought in here, I love animals. I'm
Chris
this,
O'Shea?
no,
Dallas.
I'm this
Walker?
animal lover, and he couldn't even breathe after a week he was here. So he couldn't handle the stress of this
Chris can.
shelter.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Chris took Leo.
The stress doesn't have to be that way.
Is ready to
Foster
go.
a sick
Chris
dog.
O'Shea,
I don't
like
know
I
what
said, I
personal
can
thing
get
you
her
have
on the
against
phone
her,
and
but
she'll be
Chris is
very
someone we
interested.
all
Honest to
stand
God,
behind.
honest to God, you guys, we lost 3 weeks of valuable time when she took on all this responsibility.
Valuable time you
And
lost.
she didn't
What did
follow
she take
through
on,
on
though?
any
She's
of
mad
it.
because Chris didn't put the webpage together with
No,
broken
no,
text
no,
of how it went together, and then she called around to people
has to
behind
do
her
with-
back. Everyone knows.
It has
Tell
to
us
do with
exactly
the
what-
web.
Then what was it? What was it? She was too corporate?
No. She never.
That was her last response to me. She was too corporate.
She never followed through with any of the
I
things
don't
for the
believe that. She followed through
fundraiser.
everything she did
No,
for us.
she got
She
printing
emailed
done.
everyone that I
She
asked
got
her to
printing
email.
done for us. That's it. For the
The 5
But
tasks.
you said
Yeah.
she was on a volunteer basis, she wasn't even hired, so how much was she
She
supposed
said
to
that
take
not
on?
saying all she needed to
She
do was
took
a
on, she
call.
didn't say a word to me that she couldn't get the stuff done before what she was preparing for her last
And
assignment.
did you provide her written text of everything she was supposed to do? Did you give her all the
We
information?
had meetings.
You had meetings, okay. So if I call Chris O'Shea and I ask her to speak
Not
to
doing
you
right now,
about
we're at the
this.
shelter, guys. I've got a safety card.
Oh, the Jamba Juice, nice.
Good job.
That's what they give people they hate. They get
We're doing a
Jamba
bad job.
Juice.
So anyway, Dr. Veterinarian is coming here. He ran a hospital. Yeah.
He got his license taken away though, right?
No, his license was approved.
Many black marks against him in Florida. Got his license taken away in
Who do you even get this information from?
It's public record. His license was taken away in Florida. Why do you think he had such a hard time getting in here? He has malpractice things filed
No,
against
he
him.
already got approved.
Okay. True or not true? Has Dr. Masters ever had any marks on his record? True. One question, straight
Yeah,
forward.
he has the
Yes,
mark. It didn't
okay,
get
yes.
taken away.
That's all I
It
wanted
didn't
to
get
know.
taken
That's
away.
all I wanted to know.
You don't know why. You
Doesn't
don't know
matter why.
Public record.
Yeah, but you don't know why.
Okay, I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter why.
That's scary to know that that is an option.
Would you want to go to the doctor if you knew that
That's
your doctor?
no, that's
Yeah.
scary.
Who's going to train him on this day?
He had a veterinary hospital he opened. His partner passed away, and instead of removing his license, he delayed.
Continues to
And
operate.
somebody, no, he didn't. He removed. He didn't remove his license from his partner's, their hospital. He moved away, and somebody else took over, unbeknownst to him, after his partner died, and they reprimanded him. It wasn't taken away. It was a reprimand.
It's public record.
It's okay,
Everyone
yeah, I'll
can
look
search
it up
it.
and I'll
There's no
print
reason
it
to
out.
talk about it.
And I'll have it available
It's
for
public
every
record.
employee who's interested.
We need to find out what Sarah's credentials are, because as far as I know, she
Yeah, no,
has
I can
none.
look up and see if she was
That's fine.
actually
She's
a
not
vet.
monitored
I
at
don't
all,
think
sir.
she was in the military
she
at all.
pulls a tax-free paycheck out of the pay account. Sarah does. Tax-free paycheck.
I'm
out of the
reporting
pay
that.
account.
No,
I'm reporting that to IRS.
That's how she's paid.
I'm
She's-
reporting
I
that.
have-
I'll be reporting that.
She's Army.
I'll be
so
reporting that.
No, she's an
She cannot
independent
hold-
She's not
contractor.
Army.
Not her husband is.
You cannot pay
She's an
someone out of a
independent
PayPal
contractor.
account. No,
But
does
her
she submit
husband's
hours?
Army,
Does she
not
Yes,
submit
she
hours?
submits hours.
And is there United States taxes being withdrawn for a job that she works here on United States soil?
Not an
There's
independent
not, because
contractor.
that, and you know what, that is illegal.
Not
It's illegal.
independent.
I'm an
She
independent
is
contractor on my other job. I do pay
independent
taxes, madam. I pay
If you-
taxes.
I know,
with my
but you're not
1099.
getting taken out of. You don't get. They don't take it out if you're an independent contractor.
I also don't pay myself out of a personal PayPal account that my employees and
With
my boss
no
don't have an access to.
institution,
I
just
have
a donation
access to it.
PayPal account.
Well,
It's
then
a
you're
donation
enabling
PayPal
her.
account.
You just said it, but
You
it's a
said-
general
You said,
account.
no, you said there was two, there was clinic, and
When
then
you
there
read
was
the
Yeah,
other
under
one, you
donation.
go, why? You
Yeah.
can't keep anything straight.
No, the PayPal account has
Yes.
general donations that
Yes.
go in.
Yeah.
But
And
general
also, it has the adoption fees.
But general donations, when people
So
do
we're
those,
paying
they
Sarah
kind of
out of
like
the
for the
adoption fee
animals.
account that being sent with a tax-free account that she's just pulling out of, non-verifiable hours. Do you get a status report on everything that she's done that week? Because
I do.
I've actually received 3 emails in the last week from tasks that she was supposed to do, including a free advertising campaign that we won, that she never finished the artwork for. She's never finished the website.
Oh, the one
There
that
is
Alexis
that those
She
boxes
can't
of
get
files
in the
up there.
website.
Well, I'm just wondering, why are we paying her all this money to sit across there to be, no one is documenting her, no one is following her,
And for
we have
her
no
to
idea, and then she's pulling out
lie.
tax-free
And
income
cutting
running
cats'
lies
ears
about
off?
what's going on for the
What?
shelter. Why would you not have that position run by somebody here
What's
that
the
is here day
difference?
to
What's the
day?
difference between being an independent contractor? Why don't they just get paid normal?
It's
like,
because the OSPCA doesn't have to pay taxes, doesn't have to pay the
No workman's
unemployment,
comp, no
doesn't have to pay
unemployment.
She
benefits.
is an independent contractor because she doesn't live here.
So why don't we write her a
Going in-
check out? Why does she just withdraw the money directly from
Because she lives
PayPal?
in the Netherlands. It takes so
Why
long
are
to get there.
why are we
Tough
hiring
shit.
someone in the
Yeah,
Netherlands?
why do we have a staff member in the
Because she's
Netherlands?
My paycheck's bounced. I don't care if she gets paid or not. She doesn't work here every day.
So us that are here every day, we sometimes have to deal with a few days of no paycheck, but Sarah, who sits at home undocumented, she pulls her money out no problem.
No,
Is there not
she
anything wrong
doesn't
with
pull
that?
her money out.
I've seen
No problem.
Brittany's documentation before she left, my friend. I
She
have it.
doesn't, she pulls the money out when we have it. That's it. She's an independent contractor. She can be paid within 30 days. So she pulls it out at
The fact that we're having such issue with
time.
all these funds and stuff, it just very worries me. About 2.5 months ago, I deposited a check for $40,000 into our general account. Where is that money? What happened to it? How do we have $0 now in that account on payday?
We have,
What if there's
we
not
have had
$40,000
2 years of back,
Lawsuits because we didn't pay
2
employees?
years of back, no, it was a lawsuit.
$13,000 wasn't just taken out of our account for a lawsuit that we just paid.
Was
That didn't just
sent
happen.
to-
Oh, that
wasn't in
was
the paper.
$10,000. That was $10,000.
$13,000.
That was a volunteer. That was a volunteer.
No, it was not a volunteer. It
That was a
employee.
volunteer.
It was an employee.
That became an employee.
Oh, okay. Now it's been done. So that was an employee that you
No,
didn't
no, no.
pay.
When we opened the shelter,
Again,
nobody
it's public
was.
record, everyone. It's in the newspaper. Feel free to read about it.
Okay.
Nobody was an
How many
employee.
standing lawsuits do we have against
Nobody
us?
was an employee for 6 months when we opened the shelter till January.
This employee was not from the opening of the shelter site.
It was. Jody Devaney was here from day one. She was a volunteer. We put her on payroll January 1st. She sued us for 3 months before she got put on payroll and won. And I have no idea how she had no contract. She had no contract and she won.
And so
How
for
could
4
she
years,
win
we
in
let
the
it
court of
slide
law?
and not
She
pay
did.
her.
How? No, I'm asking you. How with all the
That's all
checks and
public record
balances?
too.
How many current
Exactly.
lawsuits do we have pending against the Oahu SPCA?
0. Wow. Interesting.
When you run a shelter like you have for this long, it's surprising that this has not happened. You have all your friends in your board, you have all your friends that used to work here that cover your ass, cover your ass. It's not going to continue to be that way.
It's the way
Who's on the board? Your husband, which is illegal, everyone knows that, right? Her husband's on the board and it's
Yeah.
illegal. The Attorney General has
Conflict of
that
interest.
cannot happen. Her best friend,
No,
Randy,
no.
and then 2 spineless people, Nancy and Heidi, will do nothing, no matter the constant concerns raised from here.
Nothing
I mean,
was
what will it
said
take?
against-
Will it take the
nothing
Humane
was
Society
said.
basically coming in and taking
Will
the
it take the
examiners from
Attorney
you,
General?
the news coming in? Why won't you change
Nothing
your
was
day to
said
day?
that David
Why
was
don't
on.
why won't you change your day
He
to day?
came on board to build the shelter, period. Once the shelter is done, he will resign. So he came on for the shelter purposes.
Is there written proof of that?
Yes,
Is
it's
it
in the
illegal for your
We
husband
deserve
to be
to
a-
No, it's not, it's not.
It is a
Why
conflict
is-
of interest.
Our nonprofit consultant said that he was part of his daughter's nonprofit for several years, and he finally just resigned. It was not a problem then.
Was he
And-
on the board of directors?
Yes, he was. It was legal. So I That's just for Pelio.
Well,
He's
you know it's not legal right
and he
now,
was
so do the
hired
right
by
thing.
the state. No, it's legal. We checked it out.
Okay. Well, that's not the Attorney General seems to think.
Were you not subpoenaed by the Attorney General this year in February?
Yeah, we came through. We finished all that. We gave him everything he wanted.
Okay.
Okay, and then we got you did an audit. Like, how comes we didn't? How comes we don't know? Like, I know you did it, but that's
Because
what we feel like.
it just
nothing
got
is-
finished, and I just got approved for the grant for doing the audit. So that's where all the time goes, to bring money into the shelter and to get loan documents done so we have a shelter. So I don't see really anybody else's has any more ideas on the board but me. I'm the only one that comes up with where we're gonna go. We got 2 years lease abatement here, donated, and then all of a sudden they want us out, and so they're charging us all kinds of
Because
money
we didn't
they want
fix,
us
it's
out.
in the final termination of our lease, we were supposed to fix the electrical wiring and that wasn't fixed. And
I
then all
explained
these
that to them, that the
citations.
roof is a sieve, they would
Yeah.
never get the permits, we would never get the permits, we would never get the approval
Did
from
you
an
apply for
inspector.
permits?
I told them we couldn't because the roof is a sieve.
But you didn't apply?
I
You
told
didn't
them I
just-
couldn't.
You didn't just try to see what they would say?
No, I couldn't.
So you just,
rains in
okay,
the
so you
shelter.
just didn't do
They
anything?
were
But the rainy
they were
season's over,
aware
so
of
don't worry about it anymore.
They're all aware of that.
Okay.
They're aware of that. So they said, give me the certificate of insurance and repair what was there. So that's what we did.
And then, it says in the HIOSH complaint that your method of repairing and trying to fix the electrical was running wires out where people could step on them?
No, that was from vandalized wires. Those were
Vandalized
vandalized wires that
They're
were
walking
here
over
before.
electrical extension cords that are laid on the floor and exposed to tripping. That wasn't,
That was before we addressed them. We take them down.
okay, so
before.
our addressing it was to put the generator out there, which is in violation of our
No, we
lease.
wired the generator. The generator's wired.
Yes, but it's
Before it
still
wasn't.
in violation of
No,
the lease.
before it wasn't wired, and we wired it after. Before
So-
Malasada's dad came in here and wired everything for us. So
The generator is wired, and by that you mean there are extension cords that, there's just no, you understand why this is happening, right? Why we're having this staff meeting,
because
why we're bringing
there
these
are no
concerns.
managers here. I
No,
understand that.
It's because we see all this stuff, but no one ever
You never give us a
discusses it with
straight
us.
answer,
So all we see
Stephanie.
is all this stuff coming up. We owe all these people money. We had all these people.
We're
They
not
were
on a
on
single bill.
every person has a payment plan. We pay $2,000-$3,000 for every account
Then
every
why are we
month.
not seeing the budget? Why is even the
Your
clinic
staff
side,
members,
why
that
is
is
the
for-
clinic
that's
side?
No,
for
it's
the
for a
board
nonprofit.
You're a nonprofit, that's public record. You aren't allowed to keep that from us, or the public.
And no one has to make a
All
sure.
our tax returns are on the net, except for 2013.
That's why the IRS is
Yes,
after
because
you
it was
now.
filed late.
They're not after us. They
I have
were
the
filed.
document.
Yeah, they were
And
filed.
I'm turning
late.
them into K to win too.
Okay, go ahead. They were filed late, and we're making payments on the late filing fees.
Should get ready, the public is about to know
sad
everything
that
that's
we
going
do
on
business the way
right
we do
now.
because it's people that are donating money are having to pay for the way we run the show.
Being misappropriated.
It's
So
2013.
These past,
Misappropriated.
so like this lady that donated $40,000 to the shelter. Do you think that she meant 13,000 of that to go to a lady that because we didn't hold
To
our
clean up
cards
your
right?
mess?
What a sad thing if the people of this community were to know that your donations half the time will either end up with Wendy, they
Not
late
late
fees, they might be a late fee on a bill, they might end up, at White Kelly on the $5,000 tax that we owe there on our payments.
They said they would waive that.
But that doesn't matter. The fact is that we have not carried business out correctly, and so now
That
we are
was
paying the
from
piper
the
for
first 6
everyone.
months of the
Exactly.
shelter.
Well, you've never corrected it. It's constantly snowballed.
No,
Nancy
no,
Ramon
no.
called me 2 days ago
No, no, no.
and told me you
First
told her
6
that
months
all
of the
this was
shelter.
paid off. Did you tell
No,
Nancy
I
Ramon
didn't
that
tell
our?
her.
Yes,
You
you
didn't
I
tell
said
Nancy
we were
Ramon that
paying
White
off. We were paying it off.
Okay, I have her
No.
actual email statement saying that you told her, and I can provide you a copy of that, where you told
Oh,
her that
yeah,
it was
I
paid
told
off.
her the past bills, the internet bills
Do you know
were
how
paid
much we
off.
owe White Kelly?
The 15,000.
So that's not paid
the
off.
past 2 years of internet bills were paid off with that lady's money. That there were.
We
I
owe-
walked
we're-
in
With
here
that
with
lady's
2
the
years.
40,000?
Yeah.
She paid off internet bills?
Yeah, for meds. All the meds we were the microchips, everything we were ordering
You
for
just
the last
said internet bills.
Yeah, internet services, meds and microchips that were ordered through internet-based companies, were all paid off with that money. Those were 2 years old. I didn't even know about them, and I'm like, what? 2 years old?
How did you not know about them?
Because I just
if
logged
you
in.
had access to the accounts
No,
and
no,
you're
no.
the only one
That's one of
budget.
the reasons we had to get rid of the last director. Everything was, pretty much everything was kind of.
Okay, so nothing
Who's
is ever
paying
your
these
fault.
day-to-day bills? I mean, I used to
I
pick
am.
up, you took the keys, so now keep
I am.
picking stuff up,
I'm
Susan's
paying
picking
them
bills
all.
up.
I'm paying them all.
So that's why they're not getting paid.
No, they're all getting paid off, including the IRS late filing
How much
fees.
do we owe
It
the
was
trash
filed
people? They
late,
didn't
and that's
come.
why they charged
The
us.
trash people didn't come again this week, so do we owe them again, I guess.
No,
They weren't here
they're
on
all
Tuesday.
paid off.
They didn't come on Tuesday, so.
They're all paid off, every
I saw
penny
bill,
of it.
about $644 we owe to Verizon currently.
Are we
Has that
not
been paid
delinquent
off?
for
That-
unemployment
they're paid off.
insurance as well?
Sorry?
Yeah,
Are
health
we not
insurance
delinquent
and
for unemployment insurance as
No,
well?
that's a payment plan, that's $300 a month.
So we are delinquent. And
No,
you
it's
are-
not. It's a
and you are-
payment plan.
Yes, because you are delinquent, you are on a payment plan.
My biggest
Oh,
question
that
is
was
the
from
money
a
that we're
past
getting.
employee.
At the end of the day, all this money is not going to care for these animals, is really all that matters. None of this money is going to care for them.
Right.
None of these animals are treated for heartworm. You say that they have been in the past, it's bullshit. I looked up the records, not true, okay? Before Brittany was here, not true. So don't ever say that to me again. They were not treated. They have not been treated. Number
Winston
two,
didn't even have any
the
shots.
money, these kennels and cages are falling down in disrepair. Your idea is to take them and do what we've had back and forth.
We have
None
all
of the
new
money that we
cages.
are raising here. I've taken thousands of dollars in donations a week. It's not being put to the shelter. It's not being put to pay. Where is the money going, Stephanie?
It's all in the audit. All the
Where's it
bills
at?
that we
Where's
have
the
to
audit?
pay. I have it.
Can we see it now?
I don't have it with me. I
Is
can
it
bring
not
it.
accessible?
I'll bring it. No,
Email?
it's public record.
Is it on the internet?
Just like all
Can
the
you
tax
provide-
returns. 2013 will be submitted May 15th, and I don't know when it hits the internet. Before May 15th.
But what about the audit? Is that
Yeah,
available
it's
online right now?
No, you can have it. Yeah, we're gonna put it online.
It's just such a
We're
sad
gonna put
state.
it on our website.
I think all the animals need to be moved to Paradise Bay Resort. It seems to be a lot nicer over there.
You smile and everything's just fine. And Peachy Keenan said in his head when these animals suffer. We haven't even gotten into Dr. Jody's issues.
I don't even
with
know.
the actual
Yeah.
animals.
I think we should let her
This
talk.
Operations. I figure if you had about 10 hours, we could sit here and talk to you, just about what's going on. The fact that you chose to remove yourself is coming back now and you have to pick better. You can do your best to victimize me. Everyone here knows the truth about me, okay? So you can do your best to get Pete against me, to get everyone else turned against me.
No, I wanna
Stop
get
talking.
it.
You can do your best to get everyone else against me. But you can rest assured that when you fire me, I'm going to come for you. And we will make this shelter change sooner or later. You can allow me to help within, or you can fire me like you do with every single other person around here. And you turn everyone against them and you pretend you did the same with Nikki, you did the same with every single person here.
Nikki
You turn
went out.
everybody
Nikki
against
went
them.
out.
And
She
you
couldn't
just move
handle
on.
it.
So that's why there's no continuity in staff. That's why everyone's here 3 months, 4 months, because they realize you give them no staff and then you just roll them out. So I know that's going to happen to me. I know that you're preparing to do that. Keep an eye on Nathan. He's doing dastardly things down there when he's getting checks and going in at 5 a.m. and all that stuff. We care about this place and these animals, something that you do not. We care.
No, I don't care.
If you cared,
I
then you
don't
would have
care.
done something by now, Stephanie. You wouldn't be out building a fucking resort. Oh, I'm building a
Bro.
resort, so I'm too busy to care about these animals. You chose to start this shelter, and now you turn your back on it. How do you sleep at night? How
But
do
I
you
had
sleep?
a
I don't.
director here. I had a director
Why
here.
did you replace him then? Why did you let a
Because
kennel
I
tech that
came
you
back.
hired have to figure out
I
everything on his
came
own,
back.
and then you treat him like shit? Why would you do that?
I came back here and the whole shelter was in disarray. And
You never
Kelly
came down
knows
here
all
once
about
in
it.
those 2 years. You never stopped by the shelter to
Yes, I
realize it was
did,
in
and they
disarray.
gave me reports that didn't.
This is how you look around the shelter, Stephanie. Everything's great. It's so great around here. Open your eyes.
Why would you leave after canceling
Open
the debit
your
card
eyes.
with the actual card for us to buy basic funds? Why would you leave the island and then have to FedEx overnight?
Because you
Is
don't
that,
care
is
about
that
this.
not a concern? Is that not a
If
priority?
you
I
don't
didn't get
think
it
about those
until
type
the
of
last
things.
minute.
Why would you not, you know we have to buy basic needs, you know that there are things we have to buy every day, cat litter, animal food. Why would you leave, why would you leave
That
the
debit
island
card
with
came
this?
in as I was leaving.
You told me that you were gonna give it to us at the Capitol on Friday when we met you at
And
the
I
Capitol.
forgot it.
Exactly. Is it a priority
So
for you
you
to care
guys
for
left.
these animals?
You guys left before the meeting was over.
Why did you not hand it to
Why didn't
us?
you ask me for it?
Because I didn't know you were keeping the debit card until you said, oh, I'm sorry.
I had it with
Chris
me to
O'Shea
give to you.
purchased gasoline out of her own pocket
She
money.
needs to be reimbursed.
Yes, She does. She wants to talk to you about
She
that.
didn't give me any bills.
Okay,
She
I
hasn't
won't
even
ever
called me
call.
since
She
she got
has
back.
called you. She has called you
Oh,
and tried
where?
to contact
Okay.
you
I
numerous
have
times.
an iPhone.
I think the main
I
thing
don't
is we
lose
want
any
things to be
payments.
taken care of instead of listening to excuses or reasons why this is that. I've only been here for a short amount of time and I see everyone's frustrations and they just want they want things to be taken care of because they really care about these animals and all they hear is excuses and reasons of this and that, but
Right.
it doesn't get done.
Well,
It is
So
clear
that's
it's
why
not a priority
everyone's,
for you.
That's
tensions
the
is
way you
high.
talk to somebody, not screaming. You know,
And we're
you can get your
frustrated.
point across without
We're
screaming.
frustrated, months and months of being
When
treated
someone
like
is
this, we're
lying to your
frustrated.
face.
Yeah, it's
Still,
irritating.
if you're an adult, you can talk without screaming.
Well, it gets frustrating being told
Lying
to.
about rain and drain and I don't know.
You did. You said that in the
I
staff
know, but
meeting.
it's
You
a
said
misunderstanding. I
It's
said
not a
it doesn't rain
misunderstanding.
anymore, not the drain.
you said it drains out there. It doesn't flood.
No,
You
I
said
didn't
it
say-
does
that's not what I meant.
flood.
I
Then why
meant it's
did
not
you
raining.
say
It's
that?
not flooding now because it stopped raining.
It
I
rains.
said it's
It's
not
gonna rain a
flood
couple more
anymore.
days.
Stephanie, you said that it doesn't flood
Anyway,
out
we
there.
don't have any kennels back there to be affected.
You wanted to make that the puppy quarantine. You
Yeah,
told
if we
me,
move
Alex.
the
There's
kennels
2 dogs
around.
out there, Buckeye, and there's another big dog out there that
They
don't
are
deserve to have to
historical.
swim.
But it doesn't flood to their cages, does it?
To those two, we're okay. No, but right now it's flooded with that little rain we had on Monday.
So those cages need to be moved, like we
No.
had planned moving them.
Those two guys are okay because they're on it the way it slants. But you can't add anything below them because that's where the flood zone is. And it's flooded now from Monday. We had a brief rain. And it's
We care
flooded.
deeply, we get riled up, it does make us upset, but it's just the fact that it's just been months and months of this, and it's just, there's no change, Stephanie, it just never
I
changes.
have an ad out in every internet-based animal welfare site in the country. All the universities that have these programs, those ads are posted and reposted. I have the 2 top headhunters in Honolulu looking as well. Craigslist. I
So
paid
we're just supposed
out
to
of my
hang out
own
and
pocket
chill?
$400 for
Obviously it's not
Career Builder. Yeah.
I mean, it's not working, so if you can't give us our time, what are we supposed to do?
No,
We're
no,
just
no,
supposed to
no.
continue
I
to
haven't
limbo?
found it. We haven't found anybody yet,
That's
except
what
for
I'm
Dr.
saying, but
Masters.
who will be able
And
to
you are mistaken because the president of the licensing board and the vice president were here doing Zooterin training, and they thanked me for opening this shelter and having the only no-kill shelter in Hawaii. And they were
Did they know about
were
this?
so scared. Yeah, I'll tell them everything. They don't
And
care.
the Hyosh
That's fine.
complaint? Okay,
Let's
yeah.
tell them.
Yes.
Okay, so they approached or they reviewed Dr. Masters' records and they approved him. And then they also came to me while they were here and said, we will help you get him through the red tape when he gets here. He will have licensing, we will sponsor him so he can work at the shelter right away. So those were the 2, Vice President and President, Dr. Kaya and Dr. Ako. They are both behind Dr. Masters, so obviously he didn't lose his license. There was a delay because there was a mark because he forgot to remove his license from his past business. His partner died and he didn't know about it.
Okay, so for the first time, we will have a director that's gonna come on June 7th.
And I'm trying to bring him
training.
early. Yeah, it's all scheduled to come the 7th.